We're gonna do 3 matches of each of my mains, and I'm gonna teach you, not teach you, but tell you how I play my mains. So when I'm Shaletsky and it's barely the start of the round, gee, what is happening already? Oh, when I'm Shaletsky and it's the start of a round, I like to just focus on generators first. So normally when I'm against Noli, I like to slash as a punisher, as my friend Otra wants to call it. Whenever he either misses his Void Rush next to me, or like hits a wall next to me. Which is like really good because it's a guaranteed stun. Also wonder why he's playing so crazy right now. Like, I know Noli's abilities were fast, but I did not know they were this fast. Might be tripping though, might be. Probably because I haven't played in a good while. Anyways, I only really like to help my teammates when it's like the last minute. Cause I don't want to risk myself getting hurt in the early game, cause that would be really bad if I were to get targeted, or like if they were to switch targets. Another thing I like to do with Shaletsky is I like to slash whenever I'm low on stamina so I can regain stamina, or if the killer gains the advantage on me. Right there wouldn't be a good time to slash because he was like slightly far away. I don't want to risk missing because Noli can regain movement pretty fast. Or well, not too fast of course, but just fast enough to where you wouldn't want to risk slashing. Oh, that's how you do it, okay. Alright, we just need one more gen. When you go against Noli, I like to count the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one's real. Cause if there's a missing number, then it's a fake. Since it's the last few seconds, I gotta help. Hold on. Alright, my bad guys. Anyways, we're gonna be playing Slasher once I'm killer. Can't really tell if I'm killer or not, cause my recording thingy is in the way. So I just gotta hope. I have 2 killer mains, Noli and Slasher, since they are the most effective and best killers. Now, even though I think Slasher is one of the worst in general, his punishment is like the greatest and could potentially like end the survivors right there. Alright, it's us. So we only got 5 people, so this shouldn't be too long. Of course, the best thing to do is start out chase with Gashin. He just wasted that punch, so we're gonna go for him. Because his block should also be on cooldown too, but not for too long. Whenever someone's trying to juke you, you would want to spin your camera around. And look at that. If they ever get a stun opportunity, or if you know they're gonna try and stun you, you just raging face. And since he tried to juke me mid chase, I use Gashin well. Now let's go for this one. It's not really too bad to get yourself stunned just for a hit, because it's still value. Now I like to raging pace in loops and start out with 92 stamina. Mainly if you're in that position, you would want to walk before you start the chase again. Slasher is all about skill and stamina management. I like to use B-head whenever I get the chance with Raging Pace, since it does 10 more damage than a regular Raging Pace hit. And every amount of HP counts, cause the bleeding can sometimes not make it to where you get to kill them. Since I knew they were gonna bump me, I just went out of the way. Now they should be out of stamina since they stopped. Normally I wouldn't want to leave a noob for LMS, but I feel confident. Since they're Bloxy, I'm gonna wait here, because that'll be a waste of their Bloxy, so they'll want to go early. Since they're going here, I'm a Raging Pace. I'm a, you know, just do what I always do. Since they're trying to juke me, I Gashin Wounded. But that's Slate Skin. You would always want to count 6 seconds in your head before you hit them. You know they'll get out of it early if they have stamina. Because getting out of it early without stamina is a bad option. I like to B-head a lot to end the chase, so you won't be put in the kill animation. Especially for guest, it's really good. Since the next killer is John Doe, I'm gonna use my second main, which is either noob or 7 and 7 can counter them. I'm gonna wait for noob's rework, or yeah, because the rework is he can go through the corruption puddles without gaining corruption on Slate Skin. So I'm going to be 7 and 7 for now. So normally how I use 7 and 7 is I like to cancel out aura readings, and I like to teleport to get to a generator faster. Or if I know the killer saw me and they're gonna try and get me. And what I like to use cloning for is to use it regularly, like to make a killer think that's you, or to gain a protection hit. 1 or 2 is good, but I like to use it like on my last hit. I don't really like using it early because they can wait it out. When they wait it out, it still wastes time for them, but not much. Since I'm guessing we have the advantage here, I'm going to teleport. Now, since he also has low stamina, going through the puddles wouldn't be too good for him. Because he might have speed, but he doesn't have stamina to use the speed for. But that's a great risk, using 7 and 7 to clear them out. You have to know what their stamina is. Another counter I like to use against John Doe is Chance, to cancel his windups, because most John Does like to use their spikes whenever they're low on stamina. So if you snipe them when they're low, the speed basically means nothing because they won't have any stamina to use with the speed again. Plus, you can get yourself out of corners doing that very efficiently. Since he's right there, I'm going to teleport here. After he kills the Veronica, I'm a clone because that's when he'll most likely error 404. Even though he's probably not going for me. Or for, you know, after he kills someone, because they're both one hit. With 7 and 7, you really can't help your teammates whatsoever, so you just gotta only think about yourself. I mean, you could give survivors medkits as a way to help, that's very great. The Veronica's 2 hit with the spikes and 1 hit with an M1. Depending on how things go, I might be able to body block with a clone, and he just trapped himself. Yep, he lost. What? Okay, now you're not supposed to do that with Veronica, just letting you know. So I like to go on the edge, so they won't be able to get a hit on you. A good way to use Clone in the middle of chase is Pathfind. Since if a John Doe spikes, he might think you're going one way with the clone. Like as if you were cornered, which you are, but the clone might not be. John Doe lags in speed like throughout the whole game. Since he's blocking off that area. Okay. I'll use the clone to take out the puddle first. And then I'll juke him here. And if he ever spikes, that's basically game. Yep. No squeegee. As a survivalist, of course, you need to do all the generators. Because that's the only way you can help. Or one of them. Since the killer is Cool Kid, I'll use my third main. I don't know how it's going perfectly right now. Guest. Guest, in my opinion, is a really good counter to Sixer and Cool Kid, since he deactivates one ability for each of them. Or not each of them, because 2 for Cool Kid. You can kill both minions with 1 charge. You just need to get in a good position. My bad. I didn't mean to take his spot. Anyways. What? Yeah, well, I still got to anyways. When I play as guest, I usually do not want to go for parries or anything special in the beginning. I like to focus on gens. Now when they're in a situation like that, I usually block on predict next to them, since they're low, and that's when killers would most likely want to kill a survivor. Since he's already killed 2, I'm gonna keep focusing on the generators, cause you still really don't wanna risk, or at least in my opinion, this is how I play guest, risk helping your teammates in the early game, because helping them in the late game is more efficient and more safer, if you want to make it out alive. Because in a way, guest really does die for his teammates, if you try your hardest with him. Since we're done with all the generators, I'm gonna like camp near the cool kid in case if he minions, so I can take him away. Oh my god. Anyways, not take him away, but more like kill them. Since they're in a good position, I'm gonna stick next with the Veronica. Since he minions, I'm just gonna hide right here, and then go back to them. To deactivate minions, as I would say. Oh Christ, I did it wrong. Since I did it wrong, he's probably gonna go for me. But you need to get both of them in the same spot, and you need to charge from this angle, like here. It's pretty risky if you did not have good ping. Okay, he's probably gonna go for me, so I'm going to block C here. That was a bad move by me, because I did not know he was gonna go down that way. He's looking for the noob, because noob on LMS is very, very great. He's also a pretty good counter to Cool Kid. Depending on how far he gets to live is if I'll help him or not. No! Okay, that's it. Most of the time, I only help my teammates whenever it's safe to do so. Since he's going to minions, I'm going to be right here. That'll give him a 50-50 whether to go one way or another, and make his minions useful or useless. Since he's playing the Cool Kid skin with voice lines, well, most of them do, but some of them don't. Ooh, that was smart. It's also a strategy I like to use with Cool Kid, is walk speeding into a wall next to the guest, so I think you can block. Since I had the stamina advantage, however, kinda destroy him. He left. Alright. I don't know if I'm killer or if someone's killer. Cause you gotta learn the game. And yeah, if you did, it would have to be with someone though. But yet, both know element anyway. Chat, do you agree with them? Alright, now guest is really hard to go against if you don't know what you're doing. Cause he's a killer that builds up over time if multiple survivors are hemorrhaged. Or if they just die in blood hunt, then you're cooked. Since he's guest, I'll be guest again. If I'm killer, I'm going to show y'all Nully. I don't really like Nully skins, so that's why I have barely a few. Alright, time to show y'all Nully. Level 427. Since, I'm like a really high level with Nully, it's gonna take so long to level him up at least once. Now what I did there with the Nova is I threw it in between the survivor. So if they go left, I can explode it mid-air, or if they go right, I can still do that. It may not guarantee a hit, but it most likely will. Whoever I get the first hit on is who I usually go for. I like to use Nova as an alternative M1. Since he can do 40 damage. Oh, that was an accident. Ooh. So whenever I chain onto a person, I like to go for the person I originally hit. Because the more you chain, of course, the more damage you do. Yep, now you're gonna be at a stamina disadvantage. When survivors are at stamina disadvantages, I like to Void Rush to do heavy damage, since they won't have stamina to dodge. Whenever they're at 40 HP, I like to use Nova, and that just kills them right away. They're all dead. Whenever I don't have the time to look for someone, I just like teleporting. Since he has hallucination 3, I would Void Rush. Huh, I'm gonna lunchbox you. Lunchbox Squid Games reference. That's all I thought. Whenever you get stunned as Nully, you would immediately want to use Void Rush to catch up with the survivor again. So what I did there is I sprint before I Void Rush, so like they Nully can go really faster. Like very fast, I tell you. And yeah, it does. You can try it out for yourself. If you Void Rush regularly, you'll go fast. But if you Void Rush while sprinting, you'll go even faster. Now the next killer is Guest. So again, I'm gonna be Guest. But maybe I can show y'all Noob, because Noob is kinda good against Guest, actually. So I'll be Noob. And my favorite skin to use is Campsite Victims. Cause of the one funny video. It's so goofy. Alright, this final round. I know I said 3 rounds for each of my mains, but I was kinda wrong. Cause the video low-key is pretty long. Somehow already. Doesn't even feel long. You almost never want to get close to a Guest, because if you start out chase close to them, they're at pretty high stamina, you're basically dead already. Since Guest has a very large terror radius, Here's like how big their frame is. Um, they're layer 1, or maybe even slightly higher than layer 1. Like your distance is when they'll drain stamina, which is really good. You'll almost want to stick to their layer 1, so they'll lose stamina all the time. That's called stamina maxing in my words, really. Kind of a thing I made up. It's when you stick outside of a stick in layer 1. So a killer drains stamina while you're running from them, even though you're so far away. Which is why I like Noli, because with Void Rush or Observation, you can immediately start out the chase right next to the survivor. Now there's not a whole lot much you can do with Noob. Haven't even been in a chase. But main thing you want to do is gens, and then just sticking to the killer's layer 1. Yeah, they're cooked. With Guest, Void Rushing on the last few seconds is either the biggest high risk or high reward. Because you need to kill survivors to gain time after the timer's paused. And if you don't, you basically lost the game. So it's 1 kill for him, so extra time to his blood hunt and regular timer. Oh my god. Since he's going for me, I'd like to just immediately go as far away as possible, drain the killer's stamina, then once the killer reaches or catches up to you, you'd want to use Slate Skin. Regen your stamina, and run again. Yeah. I didn't get to show a lot of noob gameplay, so I'll try again. Final round. With Slate Skin, you'd only want to bait or try and juke if you have like a good amount of stamina. Or against a slasher, cause they'll guess you wound, you know? Anyways, we'll show noob again. I hope it's cool, kid, so I can... Okay, never mind. Now, this is a 17-day ghost, so they should be good. When you're noob and you're doing a generator next to a guest or a nollie, you want to pop Slate Skin so you don't take damage in case of they try to void rush or leap onto you. The Dusigar is doing a pretty good job of looping the killer and wasting their time. For some reason, all the other survivors are just sticking around, but they're not helping. Only time you'd ever want to stick around is if you're either helping or like, I don't know, just don't stick around. If they kill a survivor, they'll go for you next, and everyone else, in a quick amount of time. Especially if they get hits in on you while they're chasing someone. Unless if they're purposefully body blocking, but Guest and Slasher has piercing attacks, so you can't really body block. He might Void Rush here, so I'm gonna use Ghostbreaker. Whenever he does, that is. Wait, did I say Void Rush? I meant Blood Rush. I have a med kit for the Elliot in case if he lives somehow. And he doesn't. Yep, we're dead. This is low-key kind of scary. Okay, he's going for the 7 and 7. Good thing to do would be go outside of his radius, drain his stamina. Before chase starts. Okay, I'm going to Ghostbreaker here. In case if he tries to use aura rating abilities. Which he does. Now his leap is very huge. So if you see him far away from you, you might want to pre-Bloxy. Which is what I'm going to do. Never mind, he's going for the other noob. I don't know how much time he has, so I can't tell if he's going to lunchbox him or not. In case if he does, I'll go on the opposite side of the map from him. But that was a pretty fast blood rush. So I think he might not lunchbox him. A good spot to be away from Guest is not on the heights, Where is it? I don't know, I would like to stick around here though. Alright, since he sees me, he's gonna go for me. Again, he's at 17 days, so don't expect me to do good. Usually if he would not bump into a wall, you would want to Bloxy right there. Try and get as much distance as you can from the killer. Okay. Yeah, no, we're dead. Use a medkit. Okay, thank goodness we actually got a medkit. Oh man, I should have dropped it for the other noob though. Then again, we didn't have how do you say it, the time to. Bloxy here. You almost never want to juke the killer unless you're like pretty close to getting out of stamina. And that's game. We have the distance advantage. He's gonna lose a bunch of stamina. Even if he does that, he has speed, yes. But he cannot really have stamina to use it. Let's use Slate Skin since I ran out. Ghostbreaker and Slate Skin combo is pretty good. Now for the LMS, the survivor is pretty much done for. I mean, look at that, 1 minute and 30. Gotta change this somehow. If he sticks there, we can Bloxy, but he's not going to. Low-key kinda shaky. Alright, Bloxy, because we have this distance. If you ever demonic pursuit, okay, we won. Bait his demonic pursuit. Or not. Yeah, you should. He takes a really great amount of skill. Surprisingly. Same for Nosferatu. Even though all of his abilities are pretty busted. Like, you can do so bad with his abilities, yet, like, they'll still make an impact somehow. Like, even a Pet Rock could play him. We have 15, is that I see? Okay, we'll do 2 final games. I'll show you Chance. He's not really my main, but he's my go-to sometimes when I'm either against John Doe or 1X. It doesn't matter whether they say you're toxic or not, because I try to bait his demonic pursuit. Now, a good thing you want to do as Chance is go as far away as possible from the killer and just keep gambling until you get the health you want and your gun charge. Usually health above 100 or maybe 105 is good. Since we got everything, let's do gens for now. And after we're done with like 3, maybe 2, we can start helping the team. Since he's right there, I'm gonna just help right now. Okay. When you're against John Doe, you'd also want to use the spikes to your advantage as a looping material. Also, that was an accident. Now, whenever he does his spikes, you know, you're gonna want to stun him when he does it, because he most likely won't have enough stamina. Also, make sure whenever you see a John Doe player using their spikes, you need to run away from them. No matter how much stamina you have, if you run away from them, and you know they're low, you will always have the advantage. Because of his slow speeds. I mean, he's only the 2nd slowest in the game, however. Since he's going for Elliot, let's try and get him to target me. Since I have a med kit. Now, worst case scenario is he dies right now. Or if he dies after I just wasted my... Okay, he died. Let's stick outside of his layer 1 per usual. Since we can't really go anywhere, it's more greater to go through the poison than the traps. Less risky. He's not gonna have enough stamina, so let's snipe him. Ah, I can't give you medkits. And he's got me cornered. Wait, there was traps there, no? Well, we gotta survive in here for a while. Now there's 3 traps in here. Okay, let's gamble. And yeah, we're just gonna die. Since, oh my god, I didn't clear out the other ones. Just keep gambling. Go through the tiniest cracks you can ever find. Ooh! I don't know how we survived. That was crazy. Now it's our final match of the video. We're gonna be Cool Kid, who's my final main. He's really good in terms of stamina, which is why I like playing as him. You'll find out, when you get a survivor cornered like this, you'll want to use your minions. That'll force him into another position. And if he, as soon as he stops moving, or if you know he's gonna run out of stamina, use walk speed. Since they won't have the stamina to dodge. An alternative N1 is a corrupt nature. Just like Nova, except you have to aim more better. Usually when you're Cool Kid, you'll always want to use your stamina to find a survivor. Wait, what am I doing? The Veronica. Every time you M1, the best choice is to stop running. Because that saves a lot more stamina than you think. Someone tries the body block and I just missed that. You'll want to use walk speed. Since he's noob, he's most likely gonna slate skin through my minions. Oh my god! You'll want to predict where they're going. That's crazy! I stopped their healing. But yeah, you always want to focus on stamina, like what I just did there. If they don't have a lot, just like what happened to them, then you won't really want to predict where they're moving with corrupt nature. You want to put it where you think they'll end up at. Since we're Cool Kid and they're noob, we're most likely gonna not win. Use walk speed as a mobility ability. Usually when they're looping like this, you'd want some minions, but since we have the advantage, let's slate skin right now. Or, since they slate skinned, what am I saying? You'll use minions. Now they're not gonna have a bunch of stamina since they get cancelled. That was the worst Ghostburger I've ever seen. And they're dead. Yep, that's it.
Bro, technically from the start, I was tweaking him so bad, and you was behind bro. Bro could've killed Noob, but they continued targeting. But it's because I was not low from the start.
Guys, I know YouTubers say not to hate on people, but you should totally hate on this person. I was not targeting, I was just playing the game. When you're a killer, you never want to leave the survivor. You start the chase on. You're not supposed to listen to what people say. You're supposed to keep going for them. Unless you're 1x, maybe even, what? No, just 1x. Unless you're 1x, you'll always want to target the person you are going for.